Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking baseball and we're doing it rapid fire. We've got a promo code. The code is DRAFT for 20% off the entire site of picksandparlays.net. We're going to go down the line and pick 5 games and hopefully give you 5 winners, or if not, just at least some good information to base your bets on. We've got Sean Higgs joining us too, hopefully pick some winners. Sean, we're starting with the A's and the Rays. This one's basically a pick 'em. The total is 8. We've got Chris Bassett on the mound for the A's, who's 2-2 with a 4.13 ERA. And then we've got Shane McClanahan making his 2021 MLB debut for the Rays, a big-time prospect down in Tampa Bay. But should be a good game here. Who do you like, or what's the play?
Yeah, I like the A's. I like little Bassett, but I think I'm going to lean to the under in this matchup here. You got the Shane is what? He's the fifth. I think he's the fifth top draft prospect in the Rays organization. And I'm funny. I was looking going over the guy's name. I'm like, McClanahan. I wonder if he's related to like Rue McClanahan from like the Golden Girls. He's down in Florida. Maybe it could be like his grandson or something. Great grandson. I love the Golden Girls. That show was hilarious.
It
Anyway,
is.
back to seriousness. It is a funny. The A's have been great, right? I think they're winning again tonight. I mean, they're just been unbelievable lately. But as we just talked about the show, sometimes you see a guy, no film, young hard thrower comes up, I believe in Tampa pitching. That's why I kind of like them winning the division based on their pitching and their youthfulness and guys they can bring up and throw. So listen, I'm going to get 4 or 5 innings from this young lefty hard thrower. Let's go. I'm going to lean Tampa a little bit, but official play for the show, I'm going to say under the total here in Tampa, under the 8.
Yeah, I can't argue there with the under. The total has been 8 runs or less in the last 5 games for the Rays and 4 straight unders for Tampa Bay. I think I'm going to lean towards the A's here. They're 5-2 this season against left-handed pitching. Not sure how long McClanahan's going to go, and sometimes he's struggled with control. This is going to show my age a little bit, but I actually covered him in high school out of Cape Coral, Florida, when I was a TV reporter in Fort Myers. He can throw really hard. He's a fireballer with electric stuff, but sometimes he struggles with command. So I think I'll lean with the A's here. They're just a hot team, and 7-3 on the road. Let's take Oakland there. Phillies, Cardinals. Cardinals are home underdogs. Phillies are -130 here. Total is 7 runs. Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phils, 2-1 with a 2.84 ERA. Kwang Hyun Kim for the Cards, who's 1-0 with a 4.15 ERA. What's the play, or what do you like?
I'm liking Nola in the Phils here. I like Nola. I think the Philly lineup is pretty decent. They're not a bad team. St. Louis, I'm just not high on St. Louis. They got the 2 corner guys, and as far as I'm concerned, that's it. This team, as much as they've always seemed from top down, they always just seem as an organization to win. They're always like that 87-90 win team. They're always some guy comes out of nowhere to hit 320 and that has a great year, but I'm not buying them this year. I'm not buying them. Do I like laying 130 on the road? No, but give me Nola. I like Nola a lot. I think he's a great pitcher. So short number, not too bad. Give me the Phillies. I'm just not high in St. Louis. I can't bet him. Even as a dog. I had him the other day with Wainwright. I mean, really, you give up like 2 hits, they're home runs, you lose the game. I mean, so yeah, I don't want to take St. Louis. No. Give me the Phillies.
It's hard to go against Nola here. I think I'll be leaning on the under. The first 2 games of this series went under, and I think more of the same here, especially if you think Aaron Nola is going to have another good one.
Yeah.
He's coming off one where he allowed 4 runs over 7 innings in a win at Coors Field, though. So we're talking about high elevation and definitely a hitter's park there. I think it's going to be a much easier slate for him here, especially against this Cardinals lineup. Let's take the under 7. It's going to be a sweat, but that's my play. Let's move on to the Mariners and the Astros. The Astros home favorites here, -150. Total is 9 runs. We've got Kikuchi, and I believe it's Garcia who is going for the Astros. Sean, who do you like, or what's the play?
What do we have here? This line is Houston sitting at about 150. This one's come out. This is about the highest I'll lay with favorites, but I don't even want to take Houston at that number. We've seen them go down, lose a bunch in a row, then they come back, win some. And Kikuchi, I thought this guy's really going to improve this year. I was expecting big things out of him. Where's he at? He's got a 5+ ERA, hasn't pitched well. I'm going to look at the over here. 9, I know it's a big number, especially seems like we have a lot of unders lately. But both these guys, I'm throwing out the 3 ERA for Garcia. I think Seattle could hit a little bit. I'm going to go over to 9 here. Call me crazy. I'm gonna go over to 9 this afternoon.
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy. Jose Altuve's finally back from I believe, the COVID list and had 3 hits in his return. So that's a huge boost to that Astros lineup. Kikuchi has not been somebody I would want to trust on the mound. The
Right.
over's hitting his last 2 starts. Houston's won 5 of their last 6. Seattle has won 3 straight. I would either go Astros run line or the over in that one, just because this Astros lineup has got to pick up at some point. I know they've looked super cold at times, but they still have a lot of good hitters in that lineup. And I don't think Kikuchi is going to be a match, especially since he's a lefty. The Astros historically, or at least, in this past season and two, have hit lefties really well. I think that's going to be the case here in that one. Moving on to the Dodgers and the Brew Crew. Dodgers minus 155 here. Total is 7.5 runs, and probably because most notably Trevor Bauer is throwing for the Dodgers. Who do you like here? What's the play?
Is he good, Trevor Bauer? I don't know. Was he okay last
I've
year? I'm
heard
not
of
sure.
him.
I don't know. Well, hey, listen, Dodgers finally scored some runs. They got a win today.
Right.
Broke that little losing streak they're on. But, in this spot, though, I'm going to look at the under 7.5 here. 7.5, I'm on the under. Listen, we know Bauer's going to bring to the table, right? So we can't even talk about that. He's going to come in, dominate Milwaukee. I like Milwaukee. I've said it repeatedly. They need some help offensively. So can this get ugly with Bauer on the hill for them? Possibly. But Eric Lauer, he came over from San Diego. This guy is 5-0 with a 2 ERA and 7 starts for Chelsa. So he's familiar with this lineup. He's familiar with these guys on these team. I think he's going to pitch okay. And let's be honest, Milwaukee, they do as much as people want to talk about the Giants and bringing guys in over there and really rehab some pitchers, this Brewer organization does a pretty good job with their pitchers too. They have a pretty nice organization of starters and relievers. So Lara coming over here, I almost like him as a dog a little bit. I mean, I wish there's a little more because Dodgers, I'm shocked they're not $2 faves here. Under for sure, but I'm going to dig deeper. I'm going to be taking Lauer here as an underdog with Milwaukee just based on his ability and what he's done in the past games versus LA, but under for sure.
Yeah, if they can keep it close, I think the Brewers have a fighting chance in this one at plus 135, just because their bullpen's actually been really good too, especially the back end with Hader, Devin Williams, and Fireisen. I think that's how you say his name. So they have some really good arms coming out of the pen. If they can just keep it close and keep it a low-scoring game, I think the under's where I'll be leaning, under 7.5. If you look at first 5 records too, I think first 5 under might be a solid play in this one too, just because the Brewers have been really solid first 5 under team this season. 8-14-1 with 14 games hitting the under in the first 5. So I think either a full game under or a first 5 under would be where I would like to put my money. And then finally, we've got the Tigers and the White Sox, and we're not sure. We're filming this a little bit ahead of time, so this might be a doubleheader because we're looking at some weather in Chicago the night before. But this one we're looking at White Sox minus 150, total of 8 runs. Not too sure who the pitchers are going to be because sometimes you kind of switch them around when it's a doubleheader. But any thoughts on this one just initially?
Yeah, well, so, with this matchup today, I was kind of thinking, all right, I like the White Sox tonight. I had them run line the other day. They couldn't get it done, even with 5 errors by the Tigers, can't score any runs. So I'm thinking maybe bounce back a little bit here. This spot, it's a tough one because if I do like Boyd. He's pitched really well, but he can't get wins because the offense is bad. So we got to see how the matchup is because Cease hasn't been all that great. Well, I want to take Boyd as a nice dog, yes, but if he's playing game 1, it's a 7-inning doubleheader. It changes things around here because then you might get some lineup flipping going on, and maybe Cease goes in game 2 because maybe his numbers are better at night than it is during the day. So always one. This one here, I'll probably lean to the under. Again, it's probably going to, we don't have a total for that because it just is what it is, folks. They got to adjust it. 7 innings. They're going to bring it down to the 6 mark, 7 mark, whatever it's going to be. Be sure to check, though. Look to see if you want to bet the game what the listed pitcher is, if you're going to bet action. Listen, you're on a site. Make sure you're betting game 1 and not game 2. Things like that.
Right.
You're thinking you're getting a great odd. And I've done it. I've made mistakes. I'm like, wow, this is great. And I put in. I realized that I bet game 1 instead of game 2. And, it happens. So just got to be cognizant and aware of your situation.
Right, and the game that we're talking about is Matthew Boyd versus Dylan Cease. So
Cease. Yep.
whatever matchup that is, and if that is the matchup. But I think the key stat for me is the White Sox against lefties. Last season they were 14-0 against left-handed pitching. This year
They
they're
crush them.
4-1. Matthew Boyd, as good as he has been this year, he is a lefty, and he's going against this White Sox lineup that obviously can explode for a lot of runs. However, it's just no value when you're talking about a 7 inning game playing a team on the run line, because obviously the White Sox are going to be big
Yep.
favorites here. But when you play the run line in a 7 inning game, that's risking a lot
They're
more,
hammered.
and it's not a play that I would necessarily love to play.
Yeah.
So might be a stay away game for me. And obviously there's a lot of moving parts, with it being a doubleheader. But just initial thoughts on that one. That's going to do it for our MLB Rapid Fire. Hopefully some good information for you guys to base your bets on. Great stuff from Sean Higgs as always. Sean, thanks for joining us.